Well, for more on the issue of anti-Asian bias here in the U.S., I'm joined by Sourabh Gupta. He's a resident senior fellow with the Institute for China-American Studies. Good to have you back with us.
Hi, Rachelle. Good to see you.
So as we've heard, the Justice Department has a program looking for alleged Chinese spies at U.S. universities. What are your thoughts on the program and whether it's needed?
I don't think it's needed because, frankly, they've not been able to do much with regard to that program. That program has become a program which demonstrates bias, basically, against not just Chinese, but to the Asian American researchers more broadly. And at the end of the day, after quite a lot of harassment, they've just simply not been able to get convictions, and they will not be able to get convictions. And so, yes, there are small misdemeanors being committed, and that's not appreciated. But frankly, I think it is creating a very negative sentiment with regard to U.S.-China educational exchanges, and I think it's better if that program were itself taken down.
And as part of that backlash, we've seen a group of Stanford professors calling on the DOJ to end this program, saying some scientists are being racially profiled. What are your thoughts on the actions by these Stanford professors?
Well, I think it's brave. I think it's about time. I think even the Asian American community is gathering together, getting together, thought leaders within that community in pressing for fairness. Like even if the program is not taken down, that it is at least enforced fairly, because what it has done is empowered a lot of law enforcement to take arbitrary measures against Asian Americans, not just Chinese researchers, and we've had some reasonably horror stories coming out in this regard, and it doesn't help the purpose for which it is geared towards, which is to root out this sort of espionage that might or might not be happening, and is most likely not happening.
And as you mentioned, it may be called the China Initiative, but how do programs like these impact other Asian ethnic groups?
It does impact other Asian ethnic groups because, for example, at the National Institute of Health, foremost biotechnology and medical research that is conducted in the area of public health, they are very progressive, very open-minded. They also have been trying to see that their programs are not being abused, and there has been abuse at the margins. But because they don't wish to make this into an anti-China crusade, they frame it more broadly in terms of East Asian. It's typically East Asian males from the age gap of from age 49 to 60, which have been ensnared in these programs. So inadvertently, they too kind of bring in not Chinese, but Asian Americans and East Asians as a group. And this can become a basis for bigotry. It can become a basis for, as I said, abuse of enforcement authority by, say, federal agents.
And have we seen this impacting Asian Americans' opportunities in their careers?
I'm assuming so. I've just anecdotally heard so. But the main problem is that this has become sort of that, to use the phrase, kill the chicken to scare the monkey, and therefore as if it is intended to ensure that a lot of people who might be borderline cases would absolutely not participate. But what this does is put sand in the wheels of intellectual exchange, scientific exchange between the US and China. It hurts both sides, and it hurts the United States too, because there are a lot of brilliant research, very hungry and smart Asian American researchers who come from Asia and add to basic research in this country.
And to that point, then, this expertise that U.S. universities could be missing out from students who obviously don't feel welcome or feel like they're going to be overly scrutinized as a result. What are some of the broader implications when you really put those borders up?
You know, we've had these studies of the amount of innovation and the amount of joint ventures and young companies put up by a lot of immigrants, by foreign students who came out here, who were, enraptured by the opportunities that America provides and the foundation that it provides. And a lot of, particularly in terms of, in Taipei and Taiwan, the sort of two-way exchange, a lot of that innovation there is basically Taiwanese students who have come out here and taken that innovation back to their countries and created this ecosystem, this cross-Pacific, trans-Pacific ecosystem. And it's on that ecosystem that basic research and technologies and discoveries, and at the end of the day, wealth for consumers like you and me is founded. And if we are going to try to create artificial divisions within that ecosystem, I'm afraid it's not going to help. It's not going to help careers. It's not going to help even innovation in terms of our societies being able to move forward and find solutions to many of the challenges that we see in our daily lives and which we will see in the next 50 years in our daily lives, the big global challenges in public health and in perhaps in the environmental areas too.